Now, I was slightly disappointed in this match only because, if they're going to give Chris Benoit the Intercontinental title, I know WWE was so excited to have him because he was such a credible in-ring worker. And back in their wars with WCW were the ones that were controlling all those good in-ring workers. Though that cruiserweight division and the mid-card, they had some amazing wrestlers on that roster, and WWE only had a couple. So the fact that they were starting to get their hands on these guys, I know was exciting them, but I think they almost blew their load too quickly. I mean, Chris Benoit would have a great legacy with the Intercontinental title, but I wish the first one that he would have won would have came at a little more, I don't know, a grander moment. Yes, it was WrestleMania, but the Intercontinental title was actually defended first, so he won the first fall, and it wasn't like he got his music played and he got to celebrate with the fans. It wasn't a Savage Steamboat moment. He had to jump right into the next match, which was for the European title, and Jericho ended up winning that. So Kurt Angle lost both of his belts. And a little side note on Kurt Angle, I remember as a fan being a little bit worried about him because I really liked him at first when he came in, and then he had that undefeated streak. He ended up losing that streak to Taz, who debuted in the company at the Royal Rumble, but kind of bounced right back by winning the European and the IC title at the next pay-per-view, I believe. And I thought to myself that this guy is really good and really talented, but I was concerned that he was going to be forgotten about because, like I said, the Radicals had just come into the company, and Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, I mean, these guys are fucking great, and I was worried that they were going to overshadow Kurt Angle and WWE would be more interested in them. But to Kurt's credit, man, he hung in there. I mean, those guys are veterans. The Radicals coming into WWE added a lot of credibility to that locker room, and for Kurt Angle, who had only been around for a few months and was green as turtle shit, is now, gonna be lost and forgotten about. But that didn't happen. Kurt worked his ass off and impressed a hell of a lot of people and was every bit as good in the ring as any of those Radicals were, and that was pretty amazing considering the fact that he was brand new, and by SummerSlam, he was getting a WWE title shot. So kudos to Kurt Angle for hanging in there and being able to compete for a roster spot when the roster was all of a sudden almost overnight incredibly deep. And here this guy is essentially a rookie, and he holds his own in there, not only performs, but and some would say outperforms anybody else WWE had on their roster.